Hello, buddy. Welcome back to A Link to the Past Part 5. We're still in the Dark World and we're fucking shit up.
Well, I mean, yeah, considering this is supposed to be Ganon's world of his will, and we're just going around taking the princess out, removing the upholstery, changing the passwords. Yeah.
Link changed my Twitter password again. Fuck him.
Is this Light World Eye for the Dark World guy?
I mean, yeah.
It's gay.
I got it. I got it, but that's for obvious reasons.
Because it's an American show.
That's
called...
a dated reference, movies.
So?
Good point.
We're literally let's playing a game that came out.
Yeah, that came out before the show.
It came out the year I was born, so fuck all
But
you.
Zelda's still relevant, damn it. That show ain't.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, you fucking cheater, piece of shit.
I still love that. That's fucking great.
It's super easy to do. I mean, if not, then I would just go down the hole that's in the bushes and then walk to the left.
Yeah, that's right, you will.
Pull the lever, blow up the room, walk down the ledge, and then boom, still right there. I mean,
Steven's just mad because he would literally kill himself every time. He was never able to make it work. Why isn't it working?
well, it's also kind of a dick move because in order to get to that area, you have to walk on a remaining ledge of the room, and it doesn't look like it's enough space for Link to stand on, so... I mean, when I first played the game, I was like, how am I supposed... I just made a giant-ass hole in the room, how the fuck do I get over there? And you're just supposed to hug the wall.
I think this is probably my favorite dungeon just because of how cool it is. It involves going out in the world and then going back inside. I think it's neat.
Oh, dude, going in and out of Skull Woods is great. I also really like that a huge fucking chunk of it is optional. I know a lot of people, at the very least, will casually know that, oh, hey, there's an extra key in Skull Woods. It's like, nah, there is an extra dungeon in Skull Woods.
Yeah.
And, man, it just involves getting that bomb jump and, of course, using the mirror, which, again, why not use it?
I love this music track. I think the Super Nintendo did fake violin sounding in synth pretty decently.
Yeah, as opposed to Genesis had pretty good fake bass though, so I'll give
Genesis,
it that.
if you wanted your soundtrack to sound like a dirty grunge band, the Mega Drive was the fucking perfect place for it.
Yeah.
Which if anyone's ever played the Spider-Man game Maximum Carnage, the entire soundtrack is meant to be like a rock album.
Yeah,
the Mega Drive version sounds so much better than the Super Nintendo version does.
Yeah, so we killed Mothula in that dungeon. That boss has some weird programming issues where if it is over the spikes, for some weird reason, it will take damage from the spikes, but it takes 0 damage from spikes, so if you hit Mothula at any point when it is over a spike, it takes no damage. So you always want to try and knock it towards the center, or try and hit it to where you don't knock it into the spikes. And if you have the Temper Sword, it only takes 4 slashes, so...
Do you think the Great Clement got his name from the Great Cataclysm?
I mean, he is, so... And I guess this is probably one issue with doing dungeons out of order, is that I believe the maiden dialogue is kind of set up to give you escalating information. Like, first it just tells you, oh, hey, you're in the Dark World, there are princesses, go get them. And then the next one's sort of like, did you know that you can get to the Dark World through other spots? Which, it's just kind of cluing you in onto the teleporter that's north of Kakariko. But as you get to the later 3 dungeons, that's when they start getting into the lore of the game. Like, talking about the Sealing War and the fact that, again, Ganon won. Prior to this game, he got the...
Wake up, sheeple!
He got the Triforce, and thus becomes the entire purpose of there being the hero's downfall timeline. Like, it's not Nintendo dicking themselves over. I mean, it kind of is, but unfortunately, A Link to the Past puts itself in a situation, and it's kind of odd that it's a plot point that all of the fan timeline videos missed prior to Nintendo releasing the official one, is that Ganon won. He got the Triforce, and it took sages, not a Link or a hero, to seal him away, so even they didn't beat him. So, I mean, yeah, a three-way timeline is a stupid idea, but it's kind of necessary given A Link to the Past's backstory, unfortunately.
I think the ceiling war wasn't as good as the floor war.
I'm more partial to the open
I think
glass.
it would have been better if Nintendo just came out and said the official timeline is that there's one timeline, and it's just like the chronology of when the games were released. It's just how the timeline goes, because that would just fuck over like everyone. That doesn't make any sense.
Nice. I mean, they tried to rectify it when Ocarina of Time came out, because even they had realized that, okay, we have this backstory of a ceiling war, and then Ocarina of Time ends with you not killing Ganon, but with the sages all putting him into the sacred realm. But even in that situation, Ganon doesn't get the Triforce. Ganon only has his Triforce of Power, but in the beginning of A Link to the Past, he has all three. He has power, wisdom, and courage. They're all in his possession. So, a Link with the Triforce of Courage at some point has to lose. So therefore, there has to be a failure timeline somewhere.
Yeah, take that, atheists.
Take that, sages. Or priests. I think that's what they are in the Japanese. They're called priests, but they're called wise men in this game.
So again, it's been a couple weeks since we recorded the first parts, and since Breath of the Wild came out, so I will re-ask the question I did then. Has its place in the timeline yet been established?
Nope.
I mean, it's after shit, but again, like we mentioned before,
That
all
could
the
be
Zelda games
anywhere.
are after shit. Everything's after shit.
I
Well, I mean,
will.
like, is there any theories about which timeline it takes place in? Not so much its location, just like which of the three people would expect it to fall under.
I can see reasons for it going under any of them, really.
I mean, I can tell you where the timeline where me, the accordion parrot, and the Shark Prince dude have our three-way, and that goes between my sheets, but... Not
Everybody's
furry.
so thirsty for Sharkman and Link.
I'm just gonna let you all know,
It's the sequel to Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
I was thirsty for Shark Boy when the freaking...
Trailer came out.
Yeah, when the trailer first came out and everyone was all hyped about Zelda, it's like, wait, hold on. Where's the fan art for Shark Dude? And there was nothing, because everyone was gushing over Zelda crying, because you're all fucking weird. But I'm not, because I wanted fan art of Shark Prince.
Which, by the way, this isn't even a spoiler, but Zelda crying is an optional cutscene in the game. You
What?
could totally not even come across it.
Well, I mean, everything's pretty optional now, huh?
Yeah.
My thing is just that, like, you know, if everyone was having bonus for Zelda, mine ended as soon as I heard the English voice acting.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate the voice acting in Breath of the Wild. All of it is not good.
Well, it's like, name one Nintendo game, like first-party Nintendo game, which has good voice acting.
Luigi's Mansion.
You're
It's
right.
like, I'm talking about full voice acting, not just like gobble gobble. Jabba dabba.
Gobble gobble.
Okay, other than the fact that there even is talking in it, what was everyone's issue with the voice acting in Sunshine?
That wasn't good either.
It's the flood's annoying as shit. The flood, like, it's like the flood has an annoying voice.
Yes.
Like you never want to have a fucking scene where you hear Bowser go like, "Son, I have something to tell you. Princess Peach is not your mom." I was like, I don't want to fucking hear Bowser say that.
Well, again, that's just that everyone's issue was that there was voice acting, but
Nope.
No. I have no problem with a Mario game. You know what? Because to take back West slightly, Luigi's Mansion 2 in the final cutscene,
Oh yeah.
Mario and Luigi have a literal conversation.
What?
They have dialogue, multiple dialogue passes. It's not anything big, but there's a back and forth as opposed to just like "Mamma Mia" type of thing. That's good. You know, Charles Martinet is a good voice actor. We've never heard Mario aside from when he's at like conventions. We never hear him say the actual like
Yeah.
speaking shit. But that is fine. Like all the Star Fox games have terrible voice acting, but I sometimes think that's on purpose.
That's true.
Like they're purposely meant to be cheesy.
Yeah.
Maybe. I haven't played Other M, but all I read is that like the voice acting in Other M is terrible.
Well, here's the thing I will give the voice actress for Samus and Other M is that she hasn't really done a lot of other work, but she's fine in a lot of stuff. I think her issue in Other M was that she was given extremely poor direction because they were trying to do this whole stoicism thing, which I guess when they director, they told just put.
Yeah.
You guess what? Yeah. Mexi character. I'll just say in terms of Other M, I was like, why the fuck did they replace Jennifer Hale? She voiced Samus in the Metroid Prime trilogy.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
fucking love Jennifer Hale.
Yeah, so I'm gonna like barely give her credit there and say I'm pretty sure Other M like it was more the direction than herself, but which again falls back on Nintendo. You don't know what the fuck to do with voice actors. Stop it.
Well, I forget with Nintendo. Like, do they do everything in house? Because at least after like 10 years, Sega finally thought, let's just contract this out to a studio that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
It has air quotes knows what they're doing.
MBM, I am of course referring to Studiopolis, not 4Kids. 4Kids got by because a handful of their actors were just naturally talented, like Mike Pollock. Where even in a game where some of the other characters aren't as good, he still shined through.
Oh yeah, and that's why they've kept him on. Yeah, that was just a long scene of us waiting for the tower or the dungeon to collapse.
For a second there, I thought my video froze. I was like, fuck.
No, if you light the 4 torches, like, the dungeon's supposed to fall. They bring that back in Oracle of Ages. Only that when you got, like, shattered crystals to, like, make the center of the dungeon fall.
I'll be honest. I don't remember this dungeon, this temple at all.
Well, Misery Mire is the worst dungeon in the game.
I'll be honest,
I'm just
Steven,
say that.
same here. I don't remember this either.
It's because this is literally the fucking worst dungeon. Like,
This just looks like copy-paste elements from... I don't see anything new here from anything that separates it from other dungeons.
It's not. Like, Swamp Palace has a better identity as an aquatic or even, like... I don't know... green. Like, even Swamp
green.
Palace... Yeah, Swamp Palace feels more green than this dungeon. The only interesting things were just... You needed the Ether Medallion to get in because you need to freeze the atmosphere to stop the rain so you can get in the dungeon. And then there's that collapsing puzzle. And then... I mean, the item is cool. I love the Canis Mario, except that it is... The box, when you get it, makes no goddamn sense. It tells you fucking nothing other than, what an interesting item. Well, fucking thanks, but it would be helpful, text box, if you could tell me what that means, but nah.
It even told you how to use a fucking shovel, but it won't tell you how to use this obscure-ass cane.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
You should fucking know that shit, nerd.
I think... And the thing about this dungeon is that it's one of the harder ones, and it's so easy to take damage. There's literally a key that you have to walk across spikes to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I don't like this dungeon at all. This is probably the one dungeon in the whole game that I don't absolutely love, and I probably borderline hate. This is a stupid fucking dungeon.
Would you say this is your least favorite dungeon in the Zelda franchise?
No. It's just my least favorite in A Link to the Past, which oddly enough still puts it ahead of a lot of other dungeons.
So then, what would you say then is your least favorite dungeon / section in the Zelda franchise?
Can I make a game be that section? Like just a whole game?
Sure. Let me guess, Skyward Sword.
Damn.
No, probably either Zelda 2 or Triforce Heroes.
Fuck Zelda 2.
Dude, okay, here's the thing. I don't hate it for like the reasons people say where it's like it's hard. That's not a reason to hate a game. Like I hate it for
It's obscure. It's a very obscure game.
It is like it's very Castlevania too.
Steven, you say it's obscure until Mexi just said it. I had completely fucking forgotten that Triforce Heroes was a thing.
I forgot about it. Yeah. But no, I mean, like its gameplay is obscure. You know what I mean?
Like I say, it's very much like Castlevania 2, where bonk your head against the wall and call forth the wind. Oh, you mean kneel in a corner and fuck that shit? No. So that was Vitreous.
Oh yeah, so that was the boss.
Mexi, you were kicking the shit out of all these bosses. I remember when I played this, these bosses would kick my ass. You were making this game look easy, my friend.
Well, Vitreous is kind of difficult. Like, when it shoots its eyeballs at you, the eyeballs themselves will do, I think it's 4 hearts of damage, so they will kill you. But the slime itself only does 1. So what I do is I walk into the slime, take the slime damage, and then do spin attacks on the eyeballs. Alternatively, since I am getting all of the items, and I feel really bad that I didn't do this, I could have just used the fucking cape. Or the Cane of Brian. I know, it's Cane of Brian. I call it Brian. It's the Cane of Brian. You can use one of those to not take the damage and then just, spin around and get rid of the eyeballs. And then you use arrows to get rid of the big eyeball. And then, but...
My name is Brian. This is Barcade. You could have it.
You could have it. Yeah, Vitreous is kind of a lame boss. Like, all of Misery Mire is not very good. That's probably why in, I think, one of the mangas, they turned Vitreous into a cat girl with 1 eyeball for sexy Japanese reasons or whatever. Oh my gosh, she's still talking. And I do like how if you do Misery Mire at any point, she's just gonna outright tell you, Zelda's in Turtle Rock. It's like, oh, well then, the fuck am I doing getting the rest of these dungeons taken care of? Fuck the maidens, I just need to get Zelda.
You have to get Zelda. Get Zelda.
The leggings of Zardel.
The myth of Zordo.
The myth of Zordo. Zordon.
Croc, the legend of Gobos.
Attack and the power of Juju.
There we go.
Attack and the power of Juju.
Jimmy Neutron attacking the Twonkies. I don't know.
Nintendo always ignore my letters for Zelda and Jimmy Neutron crossover.
I've been waiting for that shit too. I think the closest we're ever gonna get is the Xbox hits Burger King's Sneak King.
There we go.
I'm so glad Stefan bought that. I think it was Stefan that bought that. If not, Stefan better fucking buy it. Can't wait for our Let's Play of Sneak King. Fuck Zelda, why are we even doing these garbage games when there's masterpieces like Burger King, Sneak King just waiting for us to Let's Play them?
So was that like a toy, or it was the cartridge or a disc, like a toy you got and a hat and a meal, Burger King?
No, it's like an actual, I think it was Xbox 360 game that you had to go and buy, starring the Burger King King.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I have 2 small nitpicky things, which are pretty nerd. Well, one's
Burger King
one
or
is
Zelda?
about this game. One thing that always kind of annoys me is that when you're running and you transition to a new screen, you stop running.
Yeah, you have to redo a run. That fucking pissed me off throughout this whole recording.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of like a nitpick. The other thing is though is that when you transition between the worlds and when you go back at this point in the Dark World, we're on a mountain, but in the Light World, we're like flat on the ground. Really, when you transition, you should just merge into the mountain and be crushed instantly.
He's right.
This game is bullshit, Nintendo.
He's right.
Neil deGrasse Tyson would not endorse this game.
Oh yeah, he would send out a bunch of tweets talking about the elasticity, momentum that Link's shield offered, or fuck, I don't know, dude.
And I think after he was in Batman vs Superman, he doesn't have a right to criticize anything ever
It's
again.
like, look, I took a physics class too, alright? I don't give a shit. The dude has like a PhD in astrophysics, but I took a physics class.
MBM knows more than Neil deGrasse Tyson confirmed.
you got to do that thing where you drain the lake in the light world and it affects the dark world. You can so tell that was probably something they did in the development meeting where it's like, what if since we have this 2-world idea, what if we have stuff in one world affect the other world? And they thought it was such a great idea, and they only do it once in the whole fucking game. Like, I love it. It's kind of like with Ocarina of Time where, oh, hey, we're going to do time travel. Well, how about we do something where changing the past affects the future? And we're like, yeah, that's a great idea. And they only do it once with the Song of Storms, and then they never fucking care about shit like that again.
Just the Song of Storms? You sure about that? What about the past the temple in Gerudo Valley?
The Spirit Temple? But you don't really change anything. I mean, all you do is just... It's a linear set of events. Is Kid Link going there?
What about planting beans, Mexi?
I fucking knew you were gonna say that.
Plant the beans and their plants later.
You are absolutely correct, Steven. Here is my Zelda nerd card. You've earned it. Congrats.
What about the beans?
I'll give you my beans.
Thank you. Whose dick do I gotta suck around here to suck some dick around here?
Oh my god.
The person you have to suck, the person's whose dick you don't want to suck the person's dick who you do want to suck?
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Chris, get over it.
And also, Swap Palace is probably one of those things where it's an idea that they do in this game, and then they do it again in Ocarina of Time, and yet I still feel they did it better in A Link to the Past in terms of within your water dungeon, having water be your way to access different levels. Ocarina of Time obviously, was able to include sinking with the Iron Boots, but I feel like it's done just a bit more cohesively in Swamp Palace, and it's probably also why, even though Swamp Palace is the water dungeon, it's not that bad. This is a pretty legit, straightforward dungeon.
Yeah, it's competent.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I think even people who love Ocarina would say the water temple is maybe not like horrible, but it's probably one of the weaker aspects of that game.
It's the weaker, and then you have all these children posting on fucking game FAQs. They're like, I had nightmares and was lost there forever. It's like, the dungeon is not that hard, people.
It's not that hard, dude.
Here's the thing. I got stuck in Water Temple, but I got stuck for a stupid reason, because I got stuck because I was missing a key, and I had the compass, and I went to the chest that the key was supposed to be in, and every time I went to it, I was thinking, that chest is already open. I got the key. Game, you're stupid. Why are you marking an unopened chest when I opened it? So eventually I went up to the chest. I was like, fine, game. I'll just play along and try and open this already open chest. I press A and whoop, opened the chest, and there was the key I was missing.
Wow.
Yeah, so... yeah.
For a second there, when you first opened that chest, I misread the text and I thought it said boring.
Which water temple do you like more? The one in Ocarina or the one in Twilight Princess?
Oh, I like the one in Twilight Princess, but I thought you were going to do I thought you were going to do the comparison to Majora's Masks, because everyone seems to hate it, but I love it, because that one, they actually were using water for something that they hadn't done before. Like, in A Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, water is used for one thing, and that's to reach higher ground or to access lower ground. Whereas Majora's Mask, they actually use a completely different property of water other than buoyancy, in that you actually use the water's flux. And in terms of the direction that it turns to turbine, like, that's actually different and interesting. And even if I think it was done well, but everyone keeps talking about how bad it is, so... But that's why I actually really, really enjoy Great Bay Temple and have no issues with it.
I never go to the second temple in Majora's Mask the few times that I play, because I just get so, I don't know, it's just not my game.
It's hard to, like, muscle through. I kind of like... I also like the second dungeon, dude, the Goron one. That one's cool because you have that center pillar that you gotta deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's Argus, boss. Gotta get rid of his puffballs before you can deal with his eyeball shit. And,
my cotton candy!
And here's something that's kind of cool about the hookshot, is that in the middle of its animation of extending, Link has no hitbox, so he can just avoid damage.
Oh, shit!
Yeah. I use it here, and I'm gonna use it later in the final boss. Also, you can time 2 fire rod throws so that Argus takes the 2 fireballs and then still has leftover time for you to do a spin slash, so he only smacks into the ground 1 time.
What is this game's obsession with bosses that are just like either giant eyeballs or made up of eyeballs?
That's Nintendo.
I don't know, and it was something that confused me when the first couple times I played the game and I didn't have like all the bosses memorized. I kept getting Vitreous and Argus confused, and the weird thing is they bring Vitreous back as Wart. Since we're talking about Majora's Mask, the mini boss in Great Bay Temple with even more eyeballs. And then they changed Vitreous's name back to Wart in the GBA. And then Argus just keeps coming back in certain handhelds and spin-offs more as a nostalgia factor. So that was 3.
But what about the eyeballs?
They're probably easier to design, and it makes it easier for you to do like laser blasts and shit. Also, that was 3 dungeons in 1 part.
Oh shit, you're right.
Actually, you are a fucking Triforce of my god.
Triforce of your cock. In my mouth.
Yes, my penis is made up of 3 different parts: power, courage, and wisdom.
This lady's not giving us any information. Why did we even save this maiden? This is stupid.
Stay away from Death Mountain. But all my stuff is there.
But the princess is there. The other girl just before you said go to Death Mountain. I'm so confused.
Just giving me conflicting reports, you fools.
Also, Ganondorf. First time of Ganondorf. Because all the other times he's been Ganon, now he's Ganondorf. Oh, what the fuck was his last name? I'll tell you in the next part. But the English manual gives Ganondorf a last name, and it's actually a pretty cool last name.
Oh,
Is it Smith?
No, that's a dumb name.
but I like Smith.
Is it Ganondorf 100p?
He's here in the Dark World Pumpkin Field.
Dash Smith because he's married, but he wanted to keep his maiden name.
Well, as we know, Ganondorf is also a feminist.
All right.
It's Dragmire.
Bye.
Bye.